Hey there, welcome to the latest episode of Hiker Homily. This time we're going to talk about my personal, remember this is just opinion. I'm not saying it's written in stone anywhere, but my personal top 5 skills that would be best for you to have in a survival situation, especially after, like, if there's a backpacking, you get lost or accident or something like that. I know a little while ago, what has it been, like almost 2 years, I did a brief, quick thing on like the top 5 skills just in general that it's good for a backpacker to have. And they're very broad, general skills. And some other people were, oh, I can't believe you didn't say this. I can't believe you didn't say that. Well, it's because I had this on the burner too. Very specific, more specific skills for actual survival situations. And so here's the top 5 and then a little blurb on why I think so. And they should be pretty much self-explanatory, right? If, for common sense people. So top 5 survival skills. Number 1, first aid. Wilderness first aid would be great. That would be optimum. But any basic first aid knowledge, take a and they're available out there. You can get them sometimes for free in certain communities and things like that. They'll be offered for free. Other times you're going to pay a fee for it and things like that. But knowing basic CPR, basic first aid is helpful in not just survival situations, but in just actual life. You just never know when you're going to need it and use it. I have used it a few times on things like vacations and stuff like that, not even counting the stuff we've had to do backpacking and stuff like that. And I have had to do first aid a few times to help others and myself. So yeah, first aid, that's an important skill. And then again, that should be self-explanatory, right? That's just kind of a basic common sense. Yeah, that makes sense. First aid. And again, if you can get specifically wilderness first aid, of course, sometimes those can be a little pricey and hard to find. That would be absolutely optimum. That would be great because it's a course that would be keyed specifically for hiking, backpacking, things like that. But just any basic first aid is a help and is a good knowledge skill to have. Number 2, orienteering, which basically means how to use a map and compass together and how to use that map and compass in conjunction with learning how to look for natural landmarks and markers and things. For example, I still carry a map and compass with me, and then I usually have an electronic device with me that will give me my GPS location. But in certain parts of the Sierra where I have backpacked many, many times over the past 30-something years, I can look at certain peaks. I know what peak that is, and I know from the trail I'm on what direction that peak is, what's on the other side of it, what's this way from it, and that helps me orientate where I am. So even if something weird happened, I got separated from my map and compass and stuff like that, I know that area well enough that, okay, if I see that peak, I know if I head this direction, do this over the ridge, I'm going to eventually hit such and such road. Okay? Things like that. But orienteering it's an important skill, and unfortunately it's becoming a lost skill because technology is replacing it and people are not using it just in case as a backup. I'm still old school. I still do that. I know how to read a map. I know how to use a compass in conjunction with a map and in conjunction with finding landmarks and things like that, so I can get myself out of a situation or at least know where I am. So if I have to contact search and rescue, I can give them a good location. If my GPS is somehow broken and I can't give them that coordinate, which of course would be awesome, it's the best, and things like that, I can at least tell them I am approximately this far from Castle Peak in such and such, so I'm about west of Round Valley, and that's going to give them a place to really to really key in on, so they can come and do rescue and stuff like that. Or if I am well enough and I can get myself out, oh, I think I'm kind of lost, but okay, wait, that's such and such peak, and I know that this side of such and such peak is blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to go this way. That will get me to the trail, and that will get me to the highway. See? So orienteering, important skill. It really is. Number 3, fire building. How to build and light a proper fire for emergencies. And it's like, I know you're going to go out places, and especially in California, there's a lot of places where there are no fires allowed. But in a survival situation, all bets are off. You can do that, whether it's to create a smoke signal or things, or to keep yourself warm for survival, things like that. Even defense to keep the animals at bay. You never know. But mostly for survival warmth and maybe like as a signal and things like that. You need to know how to build a proper framed fire, whether it's teepee style or log cabin or what have you, and how to light one just in case you have no matches or magnifying glass or something simple like that. You don't learn how to use flint and tinder, carry some with you. There's also other ways to do it. Even the old-fashioned rubbing the stick against the log and things like that. It does work. You can do it. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of skill. But there are other ways to learn how to do a proper fire and what to carry with you just in case matches don't work. Okay? And it's an important skill for survival. Again, when you're camping and stuff, it's easy. You just stack the wood in the such and such and you let it go, type of thing. Number 4, basic foraging. What the heck is that? Well, that means you're going to have to learn before you go into an area, learn the basic plants that are in that area, what they look like, and which one of those plants is edible. Because if you get lost without supplies, you're going to need to find something to eat. And the most ready and easy thing to find to eat are going to be plants, because they don't have to be trapped. They don't have to be cleaned. Most of them don't have to be cooked. You can forage things. So what is in this area? Are there wild berries? Are they berries that are toxic, or are they berries that can be eaten? Are there 2 kinds of berries and one is toxic, one's not? You better know the difference. Foraging. And that also goes for other types of critters and things like that. Can I eat this colored ant? Can I eat this insect? Is that going to be toxic or not? Plants and small little life forms. What are out there? What's available? What can be eaten? For emergencies, if you are stuck somewhere and you have no supplies whatsoever, you're going to have to keep your strength up somehow. You're going to need some kind of calorie intake, and that's going to come most easily from plants and things like that. Now, I didn't put hunting down as a skill. That is an important survival skill, sure. I didn't put it in my top 5 because that is a more complex. That's going to sometimes take tools. You're going to have to know how to build snares and things like that. Foraging is a little bit easier because you're just basically walking around and, okay, that is a such and such plant. I know I can eat the leaves. That plant, I can eat the flowers, but don't eat the stems. Oh, look, there's a thing of ants over there. Those are indeed edible. Okay? Know that kind of thing. Know that kind of knowledge and things like that. And that is an easy food. It's a lot easier than having to build snares or hunt an animal. If you have the skill to do that, fantastic. Go for it. Do it. And then use your fire starting skill to cook the meat and all that. But if you don't necessarily have those skills, or the animals just aren't available, they're just hard to catch and things like that, you need to know some foraging so you can have some kind of calorie intake. So there's that. And final, shelter building. Hey, but I'm backpacking. I have a tent with me. Okay, what if the tent is damaged? What if something happened and it's just not working? What if you have a tent that is rated for a certain season, but you have a sudden snowstorm? That's crazy. It never happens. Oh, yes, it does. I have been in the Sierra Mountains in June and had 2 inches of snow fall on our camp. We woke up in the morning and it was cold outside and there's 2 inches of snow on the ground. And it was like June 20-something. We were pretty flabbergasted. Fortunately, we were 3 people sharing a 2-person tent, so it didn't get cold. But it was pretty crazy once we were outside to just see that it had snowed and stuff like that. If you're in a certain situation and you don't have the right gear for that kind of thing, you may need to supplement your shelter by building a different one. So very important skill to do that. And also, if something weird happens, you leave your camp to go and you get turned around, you can't find it again, you've been walking in circles, you don't know where you're at. but nightfall is coming. You're going to need to build yourself a shelter to help keep you warm, especially certain times of year in certain places. You're going to need that shelter because it's what keeps you warm. So really, that's my top 5. Pretty simple, right? As far as I'm concerned, I mean, I'm sure that there are others out there who would have a different top 5 or would swap like one thing out. No, this one's not quite that big of a deal, but I think this one's more important. Absolutely cool. If you have any of those ideas, go ahead and leave your comments down below or wherever else this is posted. And as always, on hikingforhealthca@gmail.com. And yeah, let me know if you have a different top 5, or if you trade one out and add a different one, or just other skills that you think would be on 6, 7, 8, whatever. Let me know, because yeah, there's a lot of survival skills out there, but this is just my opinion, the top 5 you need just in case something happens. Other than that, thanks so much for keeping up with this channel and watching. Appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, hey, I'd appreciate it if you would. It doesn't cost anything on YouTube. Go ahead and give me a subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And other than that, thanks very much, and I'll catch you next time.